district attorney's letter to you today?
Well, actually, after upon reading it, our district attorney is clearly following the law. She lacks jurisdiction, but it is my understanding that these individuals are residents of the state of Wisconsin. As we work closely with our district attorney, I'm not opposed to working closely with other district attorneys or other prosecutors that those respective district attorneys would like to hand that off to. However, that said, I'm still going to continue to make my call to our Attorney General in the state of Wisconsin to do his job and to prosecute this. This is clearly a statewide issue. I've asked for that initially, and I'm asking for him again today to look at this case, request the documents, and actually read them, and understand that we actually have members of the WEC, Wisconsin Elections Commission members, that violated the law.
Will you be reaching out to other district attorneys to ask that they bring charges?
I am doing that today as soon as I'm done talking to you.
You initially called on the Attorney General as opposed to the district attorney. Did you suspect at the time that Racine County did not have jurisdiction?
I did not know that. I'm not a lawyer. I'm a police officer, and I do the best I can to research the law. That's a different side of the statute book when we talk about election laws, and obviously it took the district attorney some time to do some significant research to see if she had jurisdiction. She has determined that she does not have jurisdiction, that she lacks jurisdiction. So I'm left with who does. And so we're going to reach out to those individuals. But again, more importantly, we have an Attorney General, who, by the way, is asking for 4 more years. I'd also ask my friends in the media to ask those who are running and seeking his seat as well what they intend to do should they win that seat. This has a statute of limitations of 6 years.
I was going to say, do you think that it should Josh Cull lose the election and then somebody else takes his seat? Do you foresee one of them or several of them being willing to prosecute this case?
That would be a great question. You should ask them.
The district attorney does have jurisdiction over the nursing home, and staff had chose not to bring charges. What's your thought about that?
Well, that would be a good question for our district attorney. I can't answer that. She has said in her statement that she lacks jurisdiction, and she's a lawyer. She's our district attorney. I trust her decision.
The Attorney General, when I asked him about this case many months ago, he said he requested that you talk to some more people or get some more documentation. Did he convey that to you?
He did not, but it was my understanding that they were requesting and calling it a investigation was not thorough. I will tell you this, I am not going to interview people. First of all, they're no longer with us because they're deceased. And I certainly am not going to attempt to do an interview on somebody who cognitively cannot answer questions. Some of these individuals, as we had mentioned, and as sad as this sounds to repeat out loud again, didn't even know and recognize their own family members, seen objects in a room that weren't there. Didn't even know what day of week it was or if they just ate, and there was clearly food that they just eaten. Why would I attempt to insult them and their family by trying to do some type of interview? That's obnoxious at best, and I'm ashamed that he would request that if he in fact did make that request.
Yeah, I think that pretty well covers it.
Yeah,
Just the nursing home again. Do you still believe that nursing home employees and staff should be charged in this case?
Well, here's my opinion on the matter. So you have the Wisconsin Elections Commission, who are they're the experts, right? These are the individuals that we look towards. They were supposed to dispatch the SVD, special voting deputies, into these nursing homes. These nursing home employees were given directives by their superiors and their superiors, ultimately from the WEC. I'm not so certain how you could fault somebody who is simply going off a directive of what their boss told them to do. Again, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not the prosecutor. There's a lot of facts there involved, and that decision was made by our district attorney, and I respect that decision. But the bigger picture is that when we look at towards the root of the problem, we talked about the root of our problem here today with fentanyl coming into our country, and where is that coming from? Where did this unlawful directive come from? It came from the WEC, right? Who was probably a door or two down from our governor and from the Attorney General. They made a decision to violate the law. They admitted that, and we have the tapes to prove it. They admitted they violated the law. And now all of a sudden I understand they're now going to follow the law. They're no longer calling it a process, which is really great to hear, by the way. It's never been a process. It's a law. So now they're actually going to follow the law moving forward, which is great to hear, and I applaud that. But let's look back at what they've done. They've violated the law, and now we're asking that something be done about it, that we hold their hands accountable.
Can you clarify something very quickly? I might be just missing a few months ago of you weren't sure if you believe that those who worked at Ridgewood should be charged, and then in the DA Hanson's letter today, she had said, "I do not plan to charge them as you requested." Did you officially file? I can't remember what the exact term is. request charges against them in addition to those in the WEC?
No, we did not, but it's not uncommon for us to write reports and forward our investigative reports for the district attorneys for charging decisions.
Yeah.
It's more of a recommendation, recommended that the members of the WEC, we went right to the top and said they are the root cause of the problem. They gave an unlawful directive all the way down to the individuals, all the way down to the nursing homes, people that sweep the floor and do the daily deeds that are taking place in every nursing home across the entire state. Everybody had that directive. Just my opinion, and I'm not the prosecutor, it's my opinion that if I work there, how am I expected to be an expert in election laws? We rely on people that are put in those positions in Madison, members of the WEC, to make those decisions and to follow the law, and they did not do that.
It's fair to say that your efforts to pursue charges against the election commissioners don't end here.
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I mentioned in the past, we are one cog in the wheel. We've done our part. The individuals will call this, I believe the Attorney General and others have called this a publicity stunt. And they told me I should probably just do my job. Well, what is a law enforcement officer's job, right? We receive complaints, which ironically, by the way, this complaint was sent originally to the WEC. The WEC gave it to Racine County District Attorney's Office. The district attorney gave it to law enforcement, to me. I in turn handed it down to then investigator Mike Llewell, who did a thorough investigation. And as we always do in any investigation, after we compiled those reports and we've completed our investigation, we then turn those reports over to our district attorney for her or his review. In this case, her. She made the decision not to because she lacks jurisdiction. I asked at that time that I felt that this was, and I still believe today, a statewide issue, calling upon our #1 prosecutor and top cop, our Attorney General. Who better to look at this on a state level? And I call upon him today to do the same. He's asking for Wisconsinites for 4 more years. I would ask him to look hard at this and to do his job.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Commissioner.